All right, so listen, I was just thinking of something. This is uh, this is kind of a grim time of year, not just with the coronavirus, but uh, there's ice in the ponds. I skied on this trail, not yesterday, but the day before, and it was good skiing. And it sounds like I'm going to get a chance to ski again because we've got some snow in the forecast. So it's that sort of grim end of winter when there's not a whole lot of sign of life. Although Nira and I saw a mink run across the trail, she pretended she didn't see it because she didn't want to chase it. A little bit timid about stuff like that. And then we also saw a family of, or we saw 3 deer. I don't want to make assumptions about their relationships, but this this is a tree. I'm not sure what kind. I'm guessing a beech just because it has smooth bark. But this tree has no flowers on it. I mean, no leaves on it. It did last year, and they fell off. We talked about why that happens, why they're a liability. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of branches off this. And so I've just got you could use anything, a pair of scissors. Um, I've got a utility knife in my backpack, so I'm going to use that. And I'm going to lop these off and I'm going to take them home and I'm going to uh, just stick them in a glass of water on the windowsill. Actually, I'm not going to put them on the windowsill because I don't think they do as well in the sun. Maybe I'll cut like 3 or 4 of them and put some on the windowsill in the sunlight and some in the shade. I think in a bright room, but not in the sun, makes them work better. But what I'm hoping is going to happen, and I was a little bit younger than you guys when I learned this trick, and a guy who was in love with my mom said to do that because I couldn't, I don't know, somehow we were talking about flowers or something, but he, I mean, my mother was married to my father and didn't, it was unrequited love, but he taught me to do this and just to cut the end of the branch and stick it in water and leaves will come out and it'll be a way to bring green life into your house during the early spring before there's green stuff growing around the yard and in the woods. So there must be energy, right? That sort of energy, matter, life. It's not solar energy. It's not energy from the sun if this thing grows leaves, because it doesn't have leaves yet. And those are the sort of like the solar panels that collect the energy from the sun and build sugar. So right now, I'm betting that there's some sugar here, and that's something else. We're going to walk through a little sugar bush on the way home, and I'll stop and talk a little bit more about that. There's one other thing I'm hoping that we'll stop and talk about. By the way, you're going to have some questions to answer. So, this might feel like a walk in the woods, but there actually is a target, and that's your learning. And I guess probably you've learned about enough here in this spot. So I'll shut you down again and see you in a little bit.